Time Traveler's Compass. In the quiet town of Windermere, buried deep within the pages of old legends, there was a story that had been passed down for generations, a tale of a mysterious compass that could guide its holder through time itself. Most dismissed it as a myth, but young Clara Davenport was never one to ignore a good mystery. Clara was a dreamer, fascinated by the unknown, and always felt she was meant for something more than the sleepy life in her small town. Her late grandfather, an eccentric historian, had once hinted at the existence of this mythical object, claiming it had been hidden for centuries. After his passing, Clara inherited his vast collection of books and artifacts, each filled with cryptic notes and half-told stories. One stormy afternoon, as rain drummed against the windows of her grandfather's old study, Clara stumbled upon a hidden drawer in his desk. Inside, she found a small, ornate box, its surface covered in strange engravings and symbols. She carefully opened it, revealing a tarnished, brass compass. But this was no ordinary compass. Its needle didn't point north, it spun erratically before settling, pointing to something unseen. With trembling hands, Clara picked it up. Almost instantly, the room around her seemed to blur, the edges of reality twisting like a watercolor painting in the rain. She felt herself being pulled, not by force, but by a gentle tug in her very core. And then, in a blink, everything changed. She stood in the middle of a bustling market square, only it wasn't the Windermere she knew. The buildings were older, the people dressed in strange, ancient clothes, and the scent of spices and smoke filled the air. Bewildered, Clara glanced down at the compass, which was now glowing faintly. The realization hit her like a wave. She had travelled back in days turned into weeks as Clara learned to use the compass. It wasn't a tool for navigation in space, but rather in time itself. Each turn of the needle pointed to a different era, and with each adventure, Clara discovered more about the past and herself. She wandered through ancient cities, sailed with explorers, and even witnessed long-forgotten battles. Yet, as thrilling as these experiences were, Clara couldn't shake the feeling that the compass had a purpose beyond mere adventure. One day, while exploring a library from the Renaissance period, Clara found a manuscript. It spoke of a prophecy, a time traveler destined to prevent a great catastrophe that could unravel the fabric of time. The clues led her to believe that the compass had once belonged to a legendary traveler, someone who had failed to stop the event. Now, the burden had fallen to her. Determined to fulfill her destiny, Clara embarked on a quest across centuries, following the compass to key moments in history. Each jump brought her closer to the truth, but it also brought danger. Shadowy figures known as the Forgotten began to appear, men and women lost in time, forever bound to the spaces between eras. They were drawn to the compass's power, determined to seize it and use it to manipulate history for their own gain. In a final confrontation, Clara found herself in a place beyond time, a liminal space where past, present, and future collided. The Forgotten were there, waiting, but so was the truth. The compass had been guiding her not just through time, but toward the very heart of the catastrophe, a moment in the future where a single decision would change the course of history. With the fate of time itself hanging in the balance, Clara made her choice. She used the compass one last time, setting things right. The Forgotten vanished, erased from existence, and time resumed its natural flow. Exhausted but victorious, Clara returned to Windermere, the compass now silent in her hands. She knew her journey was far from over. The compass would call to her again when the time was right. But for now she was content to rest, knowing that she had become the protector of time, the one chosen to guard its secrets. And so the legend of the time traveler's compass lived on, passed down through the ages, waiting for the next dreamer to take up its course.